Good morning, guys. It's Msfili with our special guest, Loki Pokey Bear. Aren't you the handsomest boy in the world? The handsomest. His coat is so silky, guys, because of his salmon supplements. And his teeth are nice and white. I have to get him a dental cleaning soon because he hasn't had one yet. Today's video is a Sunday video. So Sunday video is usually just a chit chat video, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to talk about my entire experience on semaglutide, Ozempic in particular so far. I'm on my 6 weeks of Ozempic and I started in April. This coming Wednesday will be a complete 6 weeks and then I'll be starting my 7th week on Ozempic. So I started at 310 pounds before I took Ozempic, or right before I took Ozempic. And now I am currently at 290. So that puts us at 20 pounds I think it's 20 pounds, 290. Yeah, 20 pounds lost in a complete 6 week period, which is amazing. But you have to also keep in consideration that I did start as fairly obese. So even though I'm tall, I'm still obese. 310 is definitely obese for me. So now we're at 290. So that's where we are at with the weight loss. And in terms of just being on Ozempic, it's I am 100% all for it because all I've had is pretty much positive experiences with it. I had bouts of nausea here and there, but nothing that was like debilitating or problematic. I've had a little bit of like pain on my arm when I've injected in that area. So I am going to expect that again when I inject it in the arm. But when I inject it in my thigh and my stomach area, it's totally fine. Like I don't really feel anything. I did have some like sharp pain in my stomach as well, but as quick as it came, quickly it left as well. So that wasn't really, to me, things like that, like small things here and there aren't a problem. It's if it lasts a long time or interferes with your life, then I feel like it's problematic. You have to keep in mind about the side effects of Ozempic. It could be anywhere from headaches to abdominal pain to diarrhea to constipation to a lot. But I literally got none of those. So I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful that I didn't get any of those side effects. Another big con for it is it's most likely not going to be covered on insurance unless you are diabetic. And even if you are diabetic, because I'm from Canada, it might not even be covered under insurance. Because for me, the only way it would be covered under insurance is if I had tried another diabetic medication like metformin, failed on it, and then they would try Ozempic, and that's when it would be covered. But because I've never tried metformin, or I did maybe like a decade ago, it's not covered under either my private insurance or the government insurance, which is pharmacare. So I am paying about $250 a month ballpark, which at a 0.5 milligram dose, and there's I think 4 doses in a pen, the one that I get. But if it increases in dosage, like if I go up from 0.5 to 0.1, then it probably is going to be a little bit more expensive. Probably it'll be more like $500 a month, which to me is insane. That's not my budget. I need to somehow come up with that money if I'm going to go up doses. But right now I'm at a 0.5. And right now I'm okay because Tamara, thank God for Tamara, she gave me an Ozempic pen, which is good for 2 months. So, praise her, and we're grateful for Tamara. The big thing for me about Ozempic and why I am so for it, especially if you don't get the side effects, is because it really has changed my relationship with food in terms of like a mental sense. Now, before Ozempic, I'm an overeater. I am an analytic eater. I'm an emotional eater. So if I'm sad, if I'm mad, if I'm depressed, if I'm happy, it's eat. Eating makes me happy. Eating gives me joy. Eating is my recreation. Eating was to literally like 80% of my life. So you know, and it's sad that that's how it is, and it is that way for a lot of people because that is the environment that you were brought up in. So you know, I would think about what to eat. I would think about what was low in calories. I would think about what tasted good. I would think about how I was going to cook things. I would think about, and even when I was eating, like say I was eating breakfast, I would think about what I would eat for lunch. I would think about what I would eat for dinner. I would see something on TV and be like, I want to eat that. And it was just like, it's called, like, I think they termed it as food noise. And that's exactly what it is. A food noise 24/7 all day. And it's like your life is consumed by food. Now it's not that way. It's still, well, it's not as bad as it was before. I feel like for me, especially during the first 2 weeks, it really dissipated. It did come back for a bit, but not to the point where it had hindered my success with Ozempic and losing weight. Like, it did not do that. I feel like I'd lose a lot more weight if I didn't have that little food noise. I wouldn't say it's food noise. No, I'm sorry. That I need to backtrack a bit, because like right now, if I think about breakfast, I'll think about I'm not hungry, because I'm not hungry, so I'm not going to eat, and I just had a coffee because I'm so used to like feeling something in my mouth at this time. But I'm not thinking about lunch. I'm not thinking about dinner. And even like in terms of food, I just kind of want food that is basic and that's healthy, and that's my choice. I'm not gravitated toward a lot of snacking anymore. I'm not huge. Like even when I was at the grocery store today, I was like, my favorite chocolate bar is there. It's not too high in calories, but then I was like, yeah, but I'm not really craving it. So my cravings for sweets like chocolate, ice cream, cakes, pastries, chips, like things like that have really gone away, which is great because that's probably a huge caloric intake. Excuse me. What I also like, which is probably not the best, is that I can eat unhealthy, but because I'm not eating as much unhealthy, it's not affecting my life in any way, shape, or form. Like I can have onion rings, but before, when I would have like 20 onion rings, right, I would only have like 4 now, 4 or 6. Before, when I would eat for breakfast 2 hash browns, 4 sausages, sometimes maybe 3. I'd have like 3 or 4 eggs, 2 pieces of toast, both buttered up, both with cheese. Now I'm having like less than half of that. And even then, like I do feel a little bit of a struggle on the weekdays, the weekends. I'm sorry. I do feel a little bit of a struggle on the weekends. But I'm getting better on that. Like right now, I would probably eat if I didn't have a coffee. So I went out and got a coffee. I should really get a coffee machine though, just to save money. But I feel like the coffee tides me over until lunch. And even when lunch comes along, I'm really not that hungry. So if I do eat lunch, it'd be very minor. And that's a big thing. So I can't remember if I explained this already, but as Ozempic does 2 things. It cuts the food noise in your head, and it kind of tricks your brain to think that you don't want food, you know, yet you're not hungry. So that's one thing that it does, is that it cuts out all the food noise. You're not obsessing about food like you were before. Number 2, it slows down your digestion, so it makes you feel full. So because of those 2 things, I feel like that's why Ozempic is such a success. And I've been successful on it. So yeah, I've been, like, to recap, I've been on Ozempic for 6 weeks. This Wednesday, it's Sunday today. I've only had success with it. My life is better on it. I don't obsess with food anymore. I'm losing weight. I feel great. Yesterday I was at an event with Daniel where there's a lot of young people, there's a lot of Asians, and I actually didn't feel like that bad about myself. Like, I mean, when I played back yesterday's video, I felt like in the video I looked a little fat, but I mean, I didn't look as fat as before. Yes, baby, we're gonna be going soon, okay? We're gonna be going soon. I love you so much. Yeah, so to me, Ozempic, like, if I have to be on it for the rest of my life, I will, because I've just only seen success. And granted, take into consideration, I've only been on it for 6 weeks, coming 7 weeks. So yes, it is fairly early on it. But most of the videos I've seen on YouTube have only been success stories anyway. And I don't know. I feel like my plan is to just mentally change as well. Like kind of like in conjunction with the mental change, I should also train myself mentally to eat better and eat less. And because if you're used to that, I feel like it becomes a part of your life. So, because a lot of people who go off Ozempic gain like over half of it back. And I don't want to be one of those statistics at all. I just want to be happy. And unfortunately for me, weighing less equates to happiness just because I've experienced it before in my life where I weighed less, I was more active, I was more social, I was more doing stuff, you know. So, and I know it's not the be all end all, and I know it's not the most important thing in the world, but we only have one life and we have to live it as we see fit to our own preferences and happiness. And that's what it is for me. Being skinny and being rich. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you got a little bit of insight on Ozempic. For me, I'm not a doctor, I'm just speaking of my experience, and I feel like the majority of people kind of experience what I experienced, with some having side effects, but for the majority, I feel like a lot of people are successful on it who stay on it. So keep that into consideration when asking your doctor about Ozempic or being on Ozempic. And for me, it's just, you know, I'll do updates periodically. I'll do a 2-month update, a 6-month update, a year update, just to keep you all informed about my journey on Ozempic. Weird, I didn't mention it, but I'm actually on Ozempic for diabetes type 2, but the weight loss is a bonus.